All right, good evening. Thank you all for joining us tonight for the Valencia Road, Kolb Road to Houghton Road 30% Design Virtual Public Meeting. I'm Erica Frizzell, Public Information Officer with the City of Tucson Department of Transportation and Mobility. So before we begin, we just want to go over some housekeeping items, make sure this meeting goes smoothly. If you are calling in, you will not be able to ask questions over the phone, but you can text your questions to 520-338-8515. That number again is 520-338-8515. For those of you joining virtually, there will be a question and answer session after the presentation. You can access that conversation box. It'll be on your right-hand side of your screen from the toolbox. It's either at the top or bottom of your screen currently. If you hover over the show conversation icon, it will bring it up in your screen. So in the chat box now are instructions on how to turn on captions in English or Spanish. There's also a sign-in sheet, so please leave us your information so we're able to send you updates on this project. And you can find more information on this project at the project website. That link will also be in the chat box for you. Tonight's presentation is being recorded and will be available on the project website for later review for those who are unable to attend tonight. So with that, I will send it over to Kevin Thornton, Design Project Manager with SOMAS. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. My name is Kevin Thornton. I work for SOMAS here in Tucson. Just a little bit about me. I am a Tucson native. Went to the U of A and have been around Tucson my whole life. I've been with SOMAS for about 16 years now. Here's the agenda for today. As Erica mentioned, we have already kind of done the welcome introductions. I'm going to go through the project here for everybody so everybody can get familiar with it, and then we'll have the question and answer. Here's kind of the status where we're at right now. So we've just now completed the conceptual plans. We completed those last month, and we're currently obtaining public input, as well as the city is looking at the plan, seeing if there's anything they would like to change, things like that. We will begin final design probably in early 2021 and then complete in 2022. Following that, we'll be getting right-of-way acquisitions beginning probably around mid-2021 and complete in 2022. There is significant state land, as I'll show you here in a few minutes, along the project, and that does take a little bit of time to obtain, so we will be going through that process. Following right-of-way acquisitions, we'll go into utility relocations, and again, those sometimes can take a significant amount of time, although on this particular project, I don't think we're going to have too many major relocations, so it may not take too long. We're still now starting to have conversations with utility companies and seeing what their plans are. And then finally, based on funding, the construction is scheduled for 2024, and we anticipate at this point about an 18-month duration. Just some of the primary design features of the project. We are going to have 6 travel lanes with median islands. The outside edge will be curved for portions of the corridor, and that's mainly along Rita Ranch. So from Old Vale Road to Houghton Road, it'll be curved on the south side of the roadway. Other outside edge along the rest of the project will probably be uncurved depending on location. There will be bike lanes in both directions, as well as a sidewalk. Sidewalk will be on the south side of the road from Old Vale to Houghton Road, and then a multi-use path will be on the north side of the road, extending all the way from Kolb Road out to Houghton Road. We are recommending Florida T or green T intersections at Old Vale Road and Nexus Road, and I'll go over what those look like here in just a few minutes. And then there's an existing bike hawk at the Harrison Greenway that will be improved and expanded for this project. We will be making drainage improvements, making sure that this is an all-weather access road. There will be continuous street lighting throughout the corridor. Public art will be a part of the project as well, and that process has not started yet. And then finally, we'll have landscaping and irrigation. All right, this is an example of a Florida T, or otherwise known as a green T intersection. This is actually at Houghton Road and Foreman Road, and on this photo, north is to the right. And what this allows is for traffic to go to the south unimpeded, so they do not have to stop when folks on Foreman need to make a left turn out. So they can continuously go through. Going northbound, you do have to stop for traffic on Foreman. So what the benefit of this is that it reduces the overall delay at the intersection by not requiring folks in this direction to have to stop. It's a pretty good design. Hopefully, since this is over in the same vicinity as the Valencia Road corridor, folks have seen it and maybe are a little bit used to it. So again, we are proposing those at Old Vale Road as well as Nexus. Another thing that we're looking at this point, we're still evaluating, we haven't put them into the design yet, is what are called two-stage left turn lanes. Down here is an example of that there at Watson Drive. So this is at Watson and Houghton. And this is part of the project that's being designed for 22nd to Irvington. And what this is, you can kind of think of it as a mini Florida T, but it allows folks that are wanting to turn left off the minor road to get out here into the into kind of a staging area, if you will. So they're outside of traffic in both directions. They can wait for a gap and then proceed into the travel lane. It gives people kind of a safe place to stage before making that turn. So those can be very beneficial in locations where there's just a T intersection. These have been in use in Scottsdale for quite a few years, more than 10 years, and they really like them, and they've had a great success. So we are again trying those on the Houghton Road project. Those will be implemented, and then we're evaluating them at this point at Bull Rider and James Dean. And that is something that we'd love to get input on. Once I'll go into a little bit more detail on the pluses and minuses here in a few minutes, but we would like your input on if you'd like to see two-stage left turn lanes at those locations. Let's see, this is a landscape concept, and landscape is going to consist of irrigated and non-irrigated native plantings with ground cover that would be crushed stone or decomposed granite or something along those lines. And water harvesting basins will be used where possible. One thing to note is there is a lot of the established landscaping areas along Rita Ranch, so planting next to those landscaping areas will mimic the existing plant palettes. And then we will be taking into consideration maintenance requirements and water needs for the landscape design. What I'm going to do now is switch over to a PDF of the entire corridor so I can step through it from west to east. Let me get my screen situated here. And share again. Okay. Hopefully everyone is now seeing a PDF of the project area, and right now we're way over at the west end of the project, and this is Kolb Road with north being up to the left. Unfortunately, the aerial is a little bit dated. It does not have the recently improved intersection improvements shown, so you'll kind of have to use your imagination for that. But as we move to the east, you'll notice right here, this is this yellow is where we're going to extend the path to. So for the new improvements, Kolb and Valencia, there's a sidewalk that goes over to about the station 80+00, and then it turns into a path for bicyclists. So we're going to tie into that, extend it to the east until we get past this drainage area. And then we're going to widen out to 12 feet and have the true multi-use path from that point. As we continue to the east, right here is about where we will tie into the existing improvements. For reference, this is the Goodwill right here. So that's about where we tie into the existing improvements. Continue to the east, we have tried to locate median openings that benefit so the area, as well as providing places for people to make U-turns. Continuing to the east, here's the Pantano alignment. This yellow here, this is Arizona state land. So it's on both sides of the corridor between about the Pantano alignment and about Old Vale Road. And one thing over here at the west end of the project, there's currently no plans for development. However, we do know that is a possibility and could be coming in the future. But however, right now there haven't been no plans for development at this point. Let's see, continuing to the east. I'm going to switch over to the other part of the screen as we approach Old Vale Road. And this is Old Vale Road. So now north is straight up on this sheet. And here's Old Vale Road. For orientation, a family storage is right over here. And here's the first of those Florida T's here. So folks will be able to make a left turn lane, use this acceleration lane, and then merge into traffic going around. You'd also be able to use a left turn lane to get on into Old Vale Road, just like a standard intersection. Continue. Oh, one thing I did want to mention, at Old Vale Road, we are aware that there is a ponding issue at this corner. That will be fixed with this project, so we are aware of that, and we do plan on fixing that ponding issue. Continuing to the east, here's Bull Rider Avenue. So this is one of those areas that I had mentioned possible use of the two-stage left. Again, the benefits are people that are coming out of this neighborhood would have a place to stage outside of traffic, so the rear end of the vehicle doesn't sit in the traffic lanes and things like that. And it's really a safe place to stage until there's a gap and they can merge into traffic. Now, the drawbacks of the two-stage left are basically you lose the ability to make a U-turn. So the reason I'm bringing that up is if we had a two-stage left at Bull Rider as well as James Dean, you would lose your ability to make a U-turn between Old Vale Road and east of Nexus Road. So it's a fairly long ways without a place to make a U-turn. However, each of these neighborhoods would have the ability to get out and make a left turn lane onto Valencia to go westbound, either at Old Vale Road or Bull Rider or James Dean. Continuing to the east, we do anywhere where there's an existing right turn lane into the neighborhoods, we are including those in the future design, so those will be there for the future. Wanted to mention that. And here's Nexus, and again, Florida T here, which we've kind of gone over. The speed limit for the roadway will be 45 miles an hour in both directions from Kolb over to Houghton. Right here, kind of across the street from the Safeway Shopping Center and Walgreens, is Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. So that's here in the kind of orangish color. It abuts Valencia Road. There's no access or anything at that point, but we do acknowledge that it abuts the roadway there. Continuing to the east, the Encantada Rita Ranch apartments are currently being constructed. So we have been sending our surveyors out there to make sure that we tie in to their improvements without any hitches. So we are aware of that, and again, tying in to those improvements. Moving to the east, here's the Vale Christian Church. Will be a full median opening at that location. And the Harrison Greenway, where the existing bike hawk is, that will be improved for the full 6-lane crossing there. Will still remain a bike hawk. Continuing to the east, you can see some drainage improvements. And this, again, we're back into this yellow. This is the state land area, both north and south of the roadway. We are aware that there are a few developments that are in conceptual stage at this point, particularly on the south side of the road. We have located the median openings to be consistent with their conceptual plans. They're not very far along into design yet, so we may need to tweak if they get further along during final design, and we can certainly match up those locations. The north side is a little bit further from development, although there are some plans in the works at this point. And as we continue moving to the east, we will tie into the existing improvements that were made probably 6, 7, 8 years ago at Houghton Road in Valencia here. And that's the end of our project. Let me switch back over. And I will share PowerPoint. And we are ready for questions and any open discussion that may be on. Okay, let me see if any questions have come up yet. First question here is, can you remind us what SOMAS stands for? So SOMAS is actually a name, and that was the person that founded the company. So SOMAS is the last name. It's not an acronym, but it is the name of our firm. And we are an engineering and surveying firm here in Tucson, headquartered out of Los Angeles. Next question, with the Florida T at Nexus, how are vehicles coming out of Safeway lot by the housing going to turn around and go west? So at that, how are vehicles coming out of Safeway lot? So if they come out of the Safeway lot directly onto Valencia, they would have to go through the Nexus intersection and then make a U-turn. If they come out of the shopping center on Nexus, they would be able to make a left directly onto Valencia at the Florida T intersection. That's all the questions I'm seeing so far. Are there more coming in?
Not at this time.
Okay. Let me see if there's any FAQs maybe that haven't been asked yet. Talked a little bit about landscaping. I mentioned that there will be public art. However, that process has not started yet. So that is a fairly long process. I'm not sure when the Arts Foundation in Tucson will get started with that, but there will be art as a part of this project. Regarding drainage, I mentioned it will be all-weather access. Cross drainage will handle the 100-year storm. And again, we are aware of the ponding issue there at Old Vale, so that will be improved and fixed. Let's see here. Roadway lighting. Street lighting will be added to the corridor. It will use dark sky guidelines and will be consistent with City of Tucson ordinances and dark sky requirements as well. Let's see. Some more questions. What is considered improved asphalt? Let's see. I'm not sure exactly what the question is getting at. However, We did do a geotechnical design on this roadway. We're going to have a cement stabilized base, and the asphalt will be placed above that. We'll have a 20-year design life at a minimum. So that is what we're using for our structural section. Let's see, the next question, will there be a right turn lane at Bull Rider? It is currently dangerous and people do not slow down. Let me back up over there. And yes, there will be a right turn lane designed at Bull Rider. What kind of asphalt service will you be using? It will be what's known as a terminal blend asphalt. Have a small amount of rubber in it. It is not going to be rubberized asphalt, which you may have heard of in the past. Rubberized asphalt no longer, after it's been in use for a while, it did not have the service life that the jurisdictions here were anticipating. So we are going back to more of a standard asphalt, but it will be a terminal blend that will have some rubber in it. The next one, path will be 12 feet from Goodwill to Houghton north side. Yes, that's correct. It'll be 2 feet wide, or 12 feet wide, not 2 feet wide. 12 feet wide from, I think, a little bit west of Goodwill, but yes, from about there to Houghton Road and on the north side. What is the time frame for this project? So we'll have design, we'll be completing design sometime in 2022. Then right-of-way acquisitions and utility relocations will happen. And currently it's funded for 2024 construction. And we'll certainly have more open houses before that time frame to refine things. But that's where we stand at this point. At the apartment site on Valencia, there will be 312 apartments. Your PDF shows vehicles have to go right to get into a lane to do a U-turn. How will buses do that? Let me zoom over here. All right, I just double checked. There is a full median opening being designed at the apartment site. So folks will be able to go out and make a left turn lane onto Valencia at that location. Will this presentation be available at this link you provided or some other URL? And the answer is yes. As soon as the meeting concludes, will be posted on the website. How long will the project take? I'm going to assume that this is related to construction, so we are anticipating approximately an 18-month time frame for construction. And the next question is, why wasn't this done before the Encantada apartment construction? Unfortunately, developers and developments don't always align with public projects. This project is scheduled again for 2024, and the developer has proceeded before that time frame. So it will be done as soon as possible. Let's see, the next one is road will have a bike lane next to the road. Yes, there will be bike lanes on both sides of the road. Hopefully I may have forgot to mention that, but there will be bike lanes on both sides of the road, 6-foot lanes for the entire length of the project, in addition to the multi-use path and sidewalk facilities. Next question, will you be doing noise studies? The answer is yes. We haven't started the noise study. We want to make sure that the horizontal and vertical alignments are set. We have a good traffic study to do the models, and so the answer is yes, noise studies will be done. We will probably be beginning those in early next year, and then we'll be able to share the results with the results of the studies at a future open house. Will there be an extended right turn lane from Valencia to Old Vale Road with the amount of semi-trucks turning there? Let me see here. There will be a right turn lane at Old Vale Road. I don't have a measurement on that, but there will be a right turn lane, and we can certainly see if it would warrant extending further than we already have it designed. We can look into that for sure. I think that's all the questions for now. Does anybody else have any questions? Next question, will there be noise walls? I mentioned that there will be a noise study done, and the noise study will follow FHWA guidelines as well as RTA requirements. And then once the noise study is done, we'll know if noise walls are warranted and will be constructed. At this point, we don't know if those noise walls will be warranted though. My office light just went out, 1 second. All right, let's see if there's any more questions coming here. Will the current distance remain between the road and the houses that back up to Valencia? That's a great question, and I did not address that, and that is yes. The existing curb line along the along Valencia, where it abuts Rita Ranch, will remain in place. So it will stay in the exact same location. All the widening will be done to the north. Next question, did you say 2 left turns on Old Vale? No, it would be a single left turn from Valencia to Old Vale and a single left turn from Old Vale to Valencia. Dual lefts don't work quite as well with Florida T's as single lefts do. Are there any future stoplights? None that I'm aware of. That can always change, obviously, in the future, but at this point, we're not anticipating any additional signals. Where will vehicles having to turn right out of a storage site turn around to go west? They would turn around. If they want to make a U-turn at this point, they would turn around at Bull Rider. Would be the first one. Again, that is something we'd have to evaluate with the 2-stage left. If we decide to put those in, then that U-turn would be further to the east. So that is one of the considerations when we're looking at those 2-stage lefts, because it does affect U-turns. So at this point, they'd be able to make a U-turn at Bull Rider as currently designed. Will there be bus service along Valencia, and are you planning bus pullouts? At this point, there is no bus service along Valencia. I have not been contacted by Suntran for their future plans. However, that's probably something we could do. So we'll probably contact Suntran, see if they have future plans for bus service, and if they do, then we'd probably look for good locations for bus pullouts along Valencia. Since traffic may be limited on Valencia, will large trucks be detoured? I'm not sure if this is I think this is probably a question during construction. And the good news is that since we are widening to the north, construction will probably, what will probably happen during construction is traffic will remain on Valencia as it currently exists, while all the widening will take place to the north. And then once that's done, traffic will be switched to the north for the reconstruction of the south side. I don't imagine that large trucks would be detoured on Valencia. There wouldn't be any loading issues or anything like that. So they may choose to go around, but I don't think they would be detoured. Have you taken into account the additional traffic from the new Encantada apartment complex? And yes, the traffic model does assume development in the project area, and yes, that is taken into account in the traffic report. Will you mitigate water flowing off of Valencia that currently goes through neighborhoods to the south of Valencia to the large wash? We did do a drainage study, and we do collect water along Valencia in either a storm drain, or on the north side of the road we will have a channel for drainage. So we'll be taking water that flows off the roadway and putting it either into that channel or into a storm drain system. So I believe the answer to that would be yes, but I can certainly look into that in more detail if there's a specific question at a specific location. Next question is, do you have a mailing list for project updates? Let's see, I believe that would be yes, and it's Erica is replying to this right now with hopefully a way to get on that mailing list. If you sign in, we'll add your email to the email list. Next question, more of a comment. Bus service is necessary. And let's see, there's not a route planned for this location. If that's something that can, there we go. There's not a route planned for this location. That is something the community will like. Please provide this to the Move Tucson website as a comment. So I believe that's in regards to bus service. There's a limitation for trucks on Rita Ranch, or excuse me, on Rita Road to 3 GWT. So don't want trucks detoured onto Rita Road. What is the start date? I will assume again that this is the start date for construction, and at this point funding is in place for 2024, so it's still a ways out. But we will have more public meetings between now and then as things get finalized, and we will have schedule updates. Let's see, any more questions? All right, if there are no further questions, you can find the presentation at the project website. And of course, you can email any additional questions you may have to bob.roggenthen, that's ROGGENTHEN, again, ROGGENTHEN at tucsonaz.gov. And the project website is on the presentation here. And again, we appreciate all the input we received. Look forward to designing this roadway and having a nice successful project. And if you have any further questions, please, again, reach out to Bob or go to the project website, and we'd love to hear your input. Thanks, and have a good evening. Erica, is there anything else?
No, sounds. Oh, there's one more.
Oh, there we go. Will the planting in the median still allow for good visibility? What are some of the plants and trees that will be used? The plantings in the medians will still allow for good visibility. We do site triangles. We're known as site triangles for the planting design, where we make sure that there aren't any plants in the areas that you would use for site visibility. And what are some of the plants and trees that will be used? I'm going to pass this one off to Jason, our landscape architect, if that's okay. Jason? I think you're on mute, Jason.
Good evening. We'll be using native and low water use, drought tolerant plant material. Real happy to share our plant list with the group, and that can be posted online also.
Great. Thank you, Jason. So is Reeder Road still going to be off limits to commercial vehicle traffic to only less than GVW 3 tons? Yes, we have no plans to make any changes to Reeder Road as a part of this project. We have a thank you. All right, seeing no more questions. Again, thanks everybody. We appreciate the input, and I hope everybody has a good evening.